Alright, we're live. Welcome to a Suicide Squad discussion review podcast. First part of it, like I said in the description, is going to be non-spoiler, and then the last part, the midway part to the end, will be spoiler. Or we'll the non-spoiler will probably be a short part because we'll just basically give our general opinion about the movie without spoiling it, and then the rest of the podcast will be spoiler, go into detail about characters and stuff to do with the movie. Alright, so Suicide Squad came out, what did it come out, Thursday night or Friday night?
I think it was Friday.
Thursday, I've seen it on Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of people seen this movie, early. There was a whole shit ton of reviews up for it, and it's a normal hate. I guess Rotten Tomatoes, what did they give it?
20-something, real low.
Yeah, real low score. Typical DC hate that you always see on the internet. I think Rotten Tomatoes just needs to be taken down. I don't know. I don't see how you can just go hate a movie, and tear it down before a lot of people even seen it.
Yeah, Dave, because they gave Ghostbusters an 80, and they were scared to critique that movie because of the feminists. That movie shouldn't have got a high score like that.
Yeah, so that shows right there the reviews are bullshit. But I noticed that with a lot of these DC movies, they roll out and they already got a ton of hate on them. I understand Marvel's been doing, Marvel's a big thing when it comes to the movies. They're DC's done movies for a little while now, but mainly it's Superman and Batman. Now that you got DC doing other characters, they're just automatically getting hate. Now, I'm not saying Marvel has not got any hate, like the Hulk, the first Hulk movie that they released. When did that one come out? In the first one? A while back, early 2000, right?
The
first...
The one with Edward Norton?
No, the original one. The original Hulk movie when they first came out with the new Hulks.
2003, Eric Bana.
Yeah, it was a horrible movie. It was very drawn out. That didn't get great feedback. So it's not like... And in the Superman one, too, the first Superman with Kevin Spacey, that was terrible.
Oh, that Superman Returns? Oh, yeah, that was pure garbage.
Yeah, that was pure garbage, and that didn't get good feedback. So I'm not saying, well, that was DC, actually, but I'm just saying, when it comes to Marvel, they've had their bads, like the Hulk, the Fantastic Four that was recently released.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2. I think Iron Man 3 was garbage, but they have got bad feedback on their movies. But whenever DC does a movie and gets bad feedback, it's known. They're like, Suicide Squad's complete garbage, don't go see it. They'll go run through the characters, say this character's garbage, go tell you why the character's bad and all that. It's just typical shit, and I think, like a lot of these things, like Rotten Tomatoes needs to just take a hike. But without spoiling the movie, Daniel, what do you think of, in general of the Suicide Squad? What do you think about it?
I thought it was a really good comic book film. The plot itself is pretty weak surrounding the villain, and there's a lot of plot holes, a lot of gaps in between. But the chemistry between the actual the team themselves that's where all the entertainment is the chemistry between the characters. The effects are great. Nothing wrong with the effects. It's funny. Will Smith is definitely funny in here. Jai Courtney's funny. You have fun moments in between, but it's good. It's not great. It's definitely some disappointing aspects to it. Again, within the story, within the villain. Some of the editing in there also is not very well done either, so it's really just good, not great.
Okay. What about you, Frozen Magma?
It was a good movie. I liked the movie overall. I liked it more than Batman v Superman, but that's just my opinion. I like the tone of the movie. It's not an all serious movie. You had dark moments, you had sad moments, funny moments, and it was overall. I liked the movie. The beginning part, a lot of people did not like. I guess we can get into that when we do the spoilers. The beginning was the most of the complaints, the first 30 minutes. but I didn't have an issue with it.
Okay. What about you, Dirty? What about your general opinion about Suicide Squad without spoiling it?
I actually like it. I went in, you know what I'm saying, just, it's just another, superhero movie. I wasn't thinking it's going to be this big dramatic, epic movie. It's just, to me, it was just a superhero movie. And I enjoyed it, but I didn't care too much for the end. The beginning, I liked how it started off, but that ending didn't stick with me too well. But overall, it was a good movie.
Okay, okay. My take of it, I liked the beginning of the movie. I thought it was cool how they gave you the rundown of the characters. The only thing with my problem with it, you've seen it in you've seen part a lot of this, and this goes with every movie in general. Trailers ruin movies. They do. They show you like so much of the movie that does not need to be seen. That's one thing I have to give that movie. If you ever seen it, 10th Cloverfield Lane, they didn't show much at all about that movie. You didn't know what the fuck was going on, nothing. You just seen John Goodman in a bunker with some girl, and that was it. They didn't give you no shit, nothing about the movie. That's how trailers need to be done. But like when it comes to these comic book movies, they throw everything in the kitchen sink out there for you to see, and it kind of ruins the movie, especially horror movies too. But yeah, they showed a lot in the trailer, so and a lot, with them sitting at the table, basically introducing, going over each member of the Suicide Squad to the, when Amanda Waller's talking to the other dude about who they're gonna pick and what they're gonna do. That's basically, it was like the beginning part. They're telling you, the rundown of every character, and I thought they did a really great job of introducing you to each character the best they could. My only problem is like the ending. It's like I do agree with you guys on the ending. They just had to like wrap it up. That's what I would say. They had to just like let's do an ending now. I think this movie's more about getting you acquainted with the characters, getting you to the understanding of the characters, introducing the characters to you. That's what I think this movie was about. Just like like kind of how Batman Superman was like the beginning of the Justice League, and then you're going to see the first Justice League movie, which basically going to get you used to the characters. Which this movie did have, some Justice League in it, which was cool. One thing I can say without spoiling the movie, you had Batman in the movie. He made like two or three appearances in the movie. He wasn't in it very long. The Joker, they're saying, wasn't in the movie really at all. He's in the movie throughout the movie, but if you put all his time together in the movie, it's not much. But they make it look like he's kind of in the movie more than he is. What I heard in the video, I heard that they had took so much footage out for the Joker that he can actually have his own movie with as much footage as they took out. Because when they were doing this movie, Jared Leto was all excited about the movie, he's tweeting things out, getting everybody hyped, and then come to find out he's not really even in the movie. They make him, like I said, look like he's in the movie more than he is. But basically, my only problem, I didn't really have a problem with I didn't have a problem with the movie, but if I had to be picky, like how the internet is picky, I guess I would go with the ending. The ending was just a little, it was like something is like, okay, let's wrap this movie up, let's finish it with the end. The villain, I don't think the villain was bad, and I don't think the villain was great. They could have chose a better villain for the movie. I like everybody in the Suicide Squad, but Captain Boomerang, I believe his name is. I didn't care for him. He didn't do it for me. They could, and another person that they didn't really even need in the movie was Slipknot. He was in the movie very short.
That's how it was in the comics, though, Dave.
Oh, okay. So I see people complaining about Slipknot. I've seen in videos they're like, well, why'd they even bother putting him in the movie? But like how you said, he was in the comics very short. So that's maybe just like well, we'll go into that in the spoiler why Slipknot was in.
And I found out who captured him.
Yeah, we'll go into that. But just in general, it was a great movie. I don't understand all the hate. I like I did with Batman. Now, with Batman Superman, people could say, okay, that movie was edited very poorly. This movie, no. No, no, not no. I don't think they did a bad job at all. I think it was done just how it should have been done. Give you an introduction to the Suicide Squad. Because not many people know what the fucking Suicide Squad is, and that's what I like about this movie so much. They did something different. They didn't go, oh, let's just make another Batman movie. Let's just make another Superman movie. Let's just go with the normal shit. No, they went completely left field, and like same thing with Marvel. They do the same shit all the time, other than like Ant-Man. They're starting to do different stuff. Black Panther, and here goes Marvel does that. They get praised with Ant-Man and everything. DC does that. They get fucking shit on. It's not fair. I'm sorry. DC's going to make their time now in the movies where it's going to be other than just their Batman, Superman stuff. You're going to see a lot of different characters, and I'm sure they're all going to get a ton of hate. But if I had to tell somebody, would I recommend this movie for somebody to go see it? Yes, it's good. Don't believe what you hear. If you like DC and you're on the fence about seeing this because what you heard in a video or an article, no, go see the movie. Just like Batman Superman, I thought it was a good movie, but that movie I could see where people pick about stuff. This one I can't see. I only pack certain characters. If you get down and start being picky like everybody is on the internet, yeah, you can pick about anything. I could pick about a fucking Civil War if I wanted to, even though that was a great movie.
You know what, Dave? I think
But
why
yeah,
a lot of people is probably hating on the movie is because, to me, when I seen the movie to me started off quick. It was quick and to the point. It didn't drag out with a bunch of people standing around talking, going to the office, looking for files and all that. It got straight to the point. Hey, we need to come up with a squad that can be sacrificed if something go wrong. I got it. Here you go. I present it. Let's do it. It wasn't all this, a bunch of people in the government talking over stuff, and it just got straight to the point. The movie just started off straight to the point. No slow dragging. It just started off straight to the point. And I think that's what a lot of people, wanted. I guess they didn't want it to start off that quick, starting off with, okay, bam, here go, Deadshot, and this is his backstory, and bam, here's, Harley Quinn, here's her backstory. I don't think people was actually looking for that right away as soon as the movie started, but to me, it was fine. You didn't have to drag it out with all this unnecessary talking and trying to agree on stuff. It's just, bam, this is my idea, let's do it.
yeah. Yeah, they didn't with the movie. It was straight to the point. Like they didn't like drag nothing out. I didn't think nothing was dragged out. I thought it was done. It wasn't the movie wasn't like Batman Superman where it was a long ass movie. It was like straight to the point. And that's what I liked about it. It wasn't like you're sitting in the theater like, damn, is this thing ever going to be over? I remember when I saw the first Superman in the theater, I was like, when is this damn thing going to be over? I fell asleep. It was so bad. But now getting to the Joker, and I'm gonna do this in a non-spoiler way too. What can you tell me, in your opinion, Daniel, about the Joker? What did you like the new Joker? Did you dislike the new Joker?
I thought he was a good Joker. I've been anticipating him for a long time. Of course, it's hard to get out of the shadow of Heath Ledger since it's been the Joker for so many years. That's what everyone knows now was Heath Ledger's Joker. So it is weird to adapt, kind of to get into a new Joker, and he's more of a gangster mob Joker now. But I thought it was really good. Again, I know how they cut a lot of scenes out, but even I said in my own review and stuff, I said the stuff that it's about like 10 minutes of Jared Leto being the Joker. We don't have enough scenes enough to really suck all of it in and say, oh, he is an amazing Joker. He is, we still can't judge yet out of what we saw. We still need a little bit more in order to, because what he did in the film, it's not like this guy went method acting for that. Anyone could do what he did in the film. That's nothing, what he did in the film is, pretty simple things, it wasn't too out there, but I still enjoyed his performance. I'm sad that he got a lot of stuff cut out, but I like his look. I like his tattoos. I thought the tattoos were actually a cool add-on to him. His grill, I know a lot of people hate the grill and stuff, but I thought it's still a cool add-on. And he changed his voice quite a lot during the film at different parts, so I thought that was kind of an interesting aspect. I like his laugh. So I thought he was, not, again, I still can't say he's a great Joker or the greatest. I'm still on Nicholson as, for me, my favorite Joker. But he was good for what he did in the theatrical cut.
Okay. What about you, Craig?
Yeah, I thought he did well job. Nothing really much you can really go off of the parts of the movie that he's been in, but everybody needs to stop comparing him to Heath Ledger, because when Heath Ledger came out, nobody believed in Heath Ledger that he could do it. I remember everybody was hating on Heath Ledger at first. They were like, he can't do it. He's not going to be able to be the one to do it. But now everybody wants to use Heath as the standard for the Joker when you can't do that. The man's dead, and they said they weren't going to do that. I believe even Leto even said that he did not even want to go the route of Heath Ledger. That's why they made him look like that. That's why they gave him the tattoos. That's why they gave him the grill. You can't copy someone else. They're not going to do that. They're not going to copy what someone else is doing. That's pretty much it. We got to wait and see on another film. Maybe Joker might, because I read an article today that he wants to be in the Batman movie that they're writing right now. So you might see Joker in the new Batman movie.
Okay. What about you, Dirty, on the whole Joker? Do you think he was a good Joker, a bad Joker?
I don't know the guy's name, but I thought he did, pretty good. I came in. Okay, I came in. I wasn't looking for anything, from Keith Ledger. I wasn't looking for anything from Jack Nicholson. I just knew that this was a different type of Joker that they had in the comic book, and this is the type of Joker I have never seen. So I just came in with, what I'm saying, just like whatever. Let me see what the guy can do. You know what I'm saying? So when I first seen him, I was like, okay, it was alright. But as he kept coming within the movie, I started liking him more and more. His look was okay, but just like to me, he was more like kind of like that devious, sinister type. Joker. Kind of serious, but he was still making jokes. But he was still on that sinister side when he was making those jokes. You know what I'm saying? And after the movie was over, I was like, you know what? I like that Joker, and I would like to see more of him. And hopefully, he is, the main villain or one of the villains in the upcoming Batman, and that way we could see more of this type of Joker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just waiting. I'm hoping he's going to be in the next Batman so we can actually see more. But for what I seen in the Suicide Squad, I was sold. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking for Keith Ledger or anybody else. I'm looking for somebody that can do a different Joker from a comic book, because there's more than one Joker in the comic book. So
now I don't know if this Joker was necessarily ever in the comic book, because I'm used to I know there's a few Jokers that I'm used to. I never seen this exact gangster Joker, and I'm assuming, in my eyes, if there is or isn't a Joker like that in the comics, what I think they were aiming for was a modern day Joker. That's what they were doing. He's a modern day thug, gangster, and I liked him. I thought he was good. The tattoos and all that don't even fucking bother me. I don't get why people are all thrown off by that. I think he had the laugh down perfectly. I like his laugh a lot better than any of the other Jokers, in my opinion. I think, I wish they wouldn't have took out so much, his scenes and stuff, and I don't know what the whole reason behind that, why they did that. I guess they didn't want to, I'm assuming, maybe they didn't want to have a long-ass movie on their hands. Maybe they're scared to, come out with this Batman vs. Superman size movie again. So they're like, okay, let's cut, some of this shit out. And I think they gave us the Joker what they needed to do with him in this movie, because this movie wasn't about the Joker, but but they wanted the Joker in there. I'll say one thing about the Joker: he had a lot more airtime than fucking Batman. That's for damn sure. But I think we got what we needed to understand what kind of Joker he's going to be. I think he's going to be great in his own movie if he's going to be in the upcoming Batman movie. If they started out with Joker, I like Jared Leto. I think he's a good actor. I believe he won an Oscar for that one movie with when he had AIDS or something to do with AIDS. Dallas Buyers Club. I think he won best supporting actor for that. I could be wrong on that, but I think so. The guy's been always like a B. He's been like a supporting actor. He was in Lord of War. He played his brother, Nicolas Cage's brother. Great performance then. He was in Fight Club, which he was a little, he wasn't the best in Fight Club, but he wasn't the worst. But the movie I know him for is called Requiem of a Dream. It's like he played like a main role in that. It's about drug addicts in New York with Marlon Wayans. That was a really good movie. Very depressing, but really good movie. The guy can act. No hand. When I heard he was Joker, no questions asked. Didn't worry me at all. But I guess a lot of people can't get past this whole gangster-looking Joker, which I just think it's a modern-day Joker. And I like how they did the whole thing with him and Harley Quinn, their relationship. I thought that was really cool. You get an origins of Harley Quinn, how she started out. What about Harley Quinn without spoiling it? What do you think of her, Daniel?
I enjoyed her too. I didn't think she was amazing, but then again, I think this is our first live-action Harley Quinn ever on the big screen. So, I liked what she wore. I know a lot of people are against what she wore, but it was fine for me. They could always change it in the future. It's not going to be her clothes every time for future installments. But I felt like her voice went in and out every now and then during the film. But she was fine. I thought she was, again, I don't think she was amazing. She stole the show. I mean, there were certain lines that worked, some that didn't. But she was fine. I liked the makeup and the look and the hair and all that. And yeah, she was fine. Really good.
Okay. What about you, Frozen, and Harley Quinn?
Oh, I liked Harley Quinn, probably my favorite character. She did a great job. I also liked the little Easter egg with her in the flashback. She definitely brought a lot of comedic relief to the film. Also, the scenes with her and Will Smith, she did a great job as far as the movie. She definitely needs her own movie. That would be definitely pretty cool.
You think her own movie, you think that would work? A whole movie with Harley Quinn?
Well, what I read is that they're going to do a movie with her, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy. They're going to do the Birds of Prey thing, so...
I could see something like that. I don't see like a whole Harley Quinn movie. I could see them doing it, but is she that big of a character to have her own movie? Harley Quinn's she's like Poison. I look at her like Poison Ivy, Catwoman. Oh, I guess they could.
Well, she's basically the face of DC Entertainment. They put her on comics that she does, like a Green Lantern comic. She's on the cover. Like, she sells comics. Like, Harley is definitely the most popular, I think, on DC right now.
Okay.
And as far as I could definitely see her her branching out, especially with how she was portrayed, her attitude and stuff like that. Because Margot Robbie, she's a great actress, and no one thought she could do it either. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She definitely did, even though they did focus a lot on her, which is fine.
And that's something people should know too. In this movie, the two people they focus the most on is Harley Quinn and Deadshot. And I think it's because they're Will Smith, he's a big actor, which did a fantastic job as Deadshot. I'm not taking that away from him, but he's pretty much the big actor in this movie. The big role. He's the number one actor in this movie. And Harley Quinn, they're trying to make her like the girl that's playing her. They're building her up in Hollywood too, especially for this role. But yeah, I just want to put that out there too. But that's all you got on Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Old Dirty, on Harley Quinn?
I thought she, did a good job for Harley Quinn for the first time, in a movie. I can't agree with Daniel. Her voice was kind of like changeable, like in and out. You can hear that almost like classic Harley Quinn, but then again, she'll change it. wasn't too bad, you know what I'm saying? But I think she did a good job. And I want to go back to well, her and the Joker. The way they costumes were in the movie, there was actually a comic book of the Joker that they used, and I keep forgetting the name of the series. I want to say, um, um, I think it was the B-52 or something like that. I don't quote me on that, but I remember hearing it, and I did see the Joker of that small series for DC of the comics, and he did have a lot of tattoos on him. They were showing him from the back, and his head was slightly turned, looking over his shoulder, and he was full of tattoos. So that is the Joker that they was using, and also Harley Quinn, the way she was dressed in the movie, she was dressed like that in that small series comic that they also had. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, even look at Harley Quinn from Injustice. She looks totally different. You know what I'm saying, with the black get up on, and I think she got like a mask on or something like that in the game. But that's what I want to go back to. Um, that comic book you can find, you probably can look it up and kind of see where they was going with the Joker for this one, and maybe Harley Quinn. But I think she did a good job, for Harley Quinn for the first time. I mean, the first time we seeing it, so yeah, I like to see her. Like I like to see her in another movie. You know what I'm saying? We could see more of her. She could even, possibly get better. She's like, I guess you could put her as the Keith Legend for Harley Quinn. If they get somebody else, you know what I'm saying? How can they top her now?
Okay. I'm gonna answer some questions in the comment section before I get into Harley Quinn. Thanos said, did the movie have an amazing soundtrack? I think the soundtrack went very well with the movie. I thought, they picked the right songs, like the Slim Shady song, Guess Who's Back, or whatever it's called. That went well with it. All the music went well with it. They picked the right songs, I think. What about you guys?
I know a lot of complaints because people kept comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy. Because when Guardians of the Galaxy started, they were playing music in the beginning. They kept playing music, and that was one of the biggest complaints from like the critics and all that. I personally didn't have a problem with the music, but that everybody kept comparing it to Guardians because they're saying they copied Guardians because they were playing music in the beginning and all that type of stuff.
And this is a little off topic, but he said with Catwoman, he agrees that Michelle Pfeiffer was. I agree with Thanos on that. Michelle Pfeiffer was one of the best Catwomans, period. But see, this new show Gotham, he said Danny DeVito was the perfect Penguin, which he's a good Penguin too. But that new dude, I don't know what his name is that plays on Gotham, that plays the Penguin, but that motherfucker is probably the. He's so damn good. Him and the guy that plays the Riddler. I don't picture nobody else playing the Penguin no more, or nobody else playing the Riddler. That's how good these guys are. Like the Penguin and the guy that plays the Riddler. Would you guys agree on that, or that scene Gotham?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
What about you, Daniel? You watched Gotham, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. Robin Lord Taylor as the Penguin. He's the best. I mean, I still like the old Adam West series sort of Penguin, but for modern day, yeah, of course, he's awesome. And I mean, compared to Jim Carrey as the Riddler to the new Riddler, yeah, Gotham has it better with their new villains, so they're awesome.
And they do like a really good take with the Riddler. I know this is off topic, but like I like how they show that he's like a split personality, and the guy just plays so well with him. I would say though, the guy who plays the Penguin, he does it best out of anybody on that show. Like you could tell, just the guy in general loves playing the Penguin. Like he loves the Penguin. Like when you have an actor that loves doing what he's doing, and not just doing it obviously he's doing it for the money, but you could tell this guy likes playing the Penguin, just like the guy with the Riddler. They're just great fucking actors. But I do agree with the Penguin. I don't think the Penguin has had anybody ever bad play the Penguin. The guy from the '60s show, the guy from I believe it was in the '60s, original Batman show. The guy that played Danny DeVito, nobody's ever played a bad Penguin, Catwoman now with Halle Berry, yeah. We've had that, but yeah, the soundtrack to the thing I thought was good, like I said, and then going to Harley Quinn with me, I thought Harley Quinn was good. I thought they're really trying to push Harley Quinn out there, like they're really putting her all in the movie. They're really using her in this movie. They're whoring her out. That's what I felt, in this movie, giving her every bit of airtime in the movie they could. I do agree with both you guys, Daniel and Old Dirty, that her voice did change. I think that's a very hard voice to keep up, her voice as a character, and you did hear her voice change, but she had the voice down, and then at times she loses it. So there, that did happen, but I thought Harley Quinn was pretty good. I thought she was she my favorite in the movie? I wouldn't say my favorite, but she wasn't my least favorite. I'd put her up there as one of the top ones in the movie, though. But she did have her issues. Another, let me just throw this out there. If you had to take a character out of the Suicide Squad, what would be the first character you want out of the Suicide Squad that was in this movie, Daniel?
Probably.
And meaning not cutting you off, meaning like your least favorite character you just want gone.
Well, besides obviously Slipknot being taken out, I enjoyed all the characters with their parts, but I'd say Killer Croc most likely because I love Katana. I like the way she was portrayed on the screen, even though she had small screen time and stuff like that. Captain Boomerang 2 didn't have that much to do, but I did like him. So Killer Croc, all he was really was just, mind you, Killer Croc, he grunts and all that, but all he was, when you think about it, is just sort of like the Hulk in this film without being the Hulk, and he just grabs them and growls and tears people apart. That's all he does. So I would take Killer Croc out of the squad.
Okay, all right. What about you, Frozen?
I have two characters. Definitely Captain Boomerang. I didn't really care for him. And then I would also say Killer Croc because originally
you guys don't like Killer Croc, do you?
No, because they were going to do King Shark and they canceled it. They were going to put King Shark in the movie and then they didn't put him in the movie.
But King Shark's not as popular as Killer Croc. That's why
But King Shark, he's pretty big though. Like I would rather see him.
Yeah, but he's still not Killer Croc. I'd have to say is a little bit more known than King Shark. That's probably why they didn't do him. And it's probably easier to do Killer Croc than
King Shark. They said King Shark was too high budgeted.
Yeah,
but I did like Killer Croc a little bit more than Captain Boomerang. He didn't really have much in the movie. He didn't really say much, and I guess that's why they should have just gave him a little more screen time.
But does Killer Croc talk a lot in general? Like I in the game, I've never seen him really say much. He don't really. He's just like he's Killer Croc. He just grabs people and does what he did in the movie, really. But yeah, okay, that's cool. I didn't see all that coming. But what about you, Old Dirty? Who's you had to say a character to go, or that you didn't like? Least favorite character. Who was it?
I had to say Captain. To me, he didn't really do much. I mean,
Are you breaking up? Is he breaking up, or can you guys hear him?
No, he's breaking up.
Yeah, he's breaking up. You're breaking up, Dirty.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're good now.
Yeah,
you're good now.
Just, I didn't care too much for him.
For who was that? Killer Croc?
No, Captain Boomerang.
Okay, Captain Boomerang. So, okay. With me, I have to go with Dirty, and a lot of people that I'm hearing on the internet, Captain Boomerang, he just fucking sucked. It was like, I don't know, to me, it just feels like they didn't need that. I mean, I don't even know how to say it. Like, to me, it was like his weapons, his boomerangs didn't come back to him. Like, he threw his boomerang, it was gone.
The one in Arrow was better when they did.
Yeah, the one in Arrow actually was better. I guess that's why I had such a problem with this guy. I didn't find him to be funny. He was just there. He was supposed to be like this, like, comic. He's put in there for like comic relief, like everybody to laugh and stuff. But he wasn't doing a good job with that. And I hope he doesn't come back if they do make which I'm assuming they will, second Suicide Squad. I hope he don't come back, or they kill him off in the beginning or something. But yeah, Killer Croc. Now I didn't have an issue with him. I just wish they'd done more with him. That's my problem. I liked him, but they just like they didn't. They could have done more with him, like going after people or whatever. They used him at the end, but I wish they could have done more.
He was only relevant in the beginning when another character showed up. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna save it for the spoilers. Like how he got captured and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Katana, she was good, but they didn't really do much with her. I liked her. You know, her thing with the sword. How she takes, like, I guess the person that killed her. Who was it? Killed her brother or something, or somebody close to her. She's got his soul in the sword.
Oh no,
Her husband.
So killed the husband.
Or she killed her husband's soul's in the sword.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought that was cool because I never knew nothing about Katana. I thought she was pretty cool. But they didn't use her much in the movie. It's basically like I said. You see Will Smith as Deadshot and Harley Quinn, whoever the girl, I forgot her name, plays Harley Quinn. They're in the movie. You know, I think they did a really good job with Will Smith, how they told his backstory and gave you a good introduction to his character. And you cared for him and whatever. But I look at the if you had to go by the Arrow's Deadshot, Daniel, because you've seen Arrow and Frozen, see an Arrow. I know Dirty hasn't seen it yet, but what with the Arrow's Deadshot versus this Deadshot, which one would you say is better?
Arrows.
Like Arrows? Yeah, I'm with you on Arrow.
I would say Arrows as well.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. The one on Arrow just
They got more development for him too.
Yeah, but you got to give it fair. The one thing people forget with these movies versus these TV shows, they got time to tell you a story on a TV show. A movie, they got to bam, 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 bam. They got to get it done, and as fast as they can. They got 2 hours versus how many hours of a season, like to tell you a story. So that's where it's kind of hard to, where it's kind of hard to compare these things. They're doing a really good job in the movie. I thought they did an excellent job telling you Deadshot's story. It's just I see that other guy's Deadshot now. I thought he was a better Deadshot, but I don't think Will Smith was a bad Deadshot. I'm not saying that, but I just thought the one on the show is a little bit better. And what other things could we say with non-spoiler? You guys think?
Rick Flag.
What about?
About how he was brought in as like the leader and all that.
Oh, okay. Did you like him as a leader?
Yeah, he's kind of cool. And he kind of had a role to play, especially with the villain and stuff like that.
Okay. Did you like his what did you guys think about his affair with the Enchantress? Is that her name?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that whole? Well, that would be a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't say that. Which I don't think it's that much of a spoiler, but my bad, guys. But yeah, so what do you think about him in general? Did you like his character, Daniel?
Yeah, Rick Flag was nice. I mean, sometimes he got sampled, or walked on a bit by the crew, like by Deadshot a little bit, or in certain scenes, but I liked him. I know it's supposed to be Tom Hardy who's supposed to be in the role, but I like the actor who played Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman. Stupid phone. Him a lot, although his accent did go in and out in certain parts when he's trying to do a southern accent, and there were just certain little things there. But I liked his chemistry. I liked how he actually said Deadshot sometimes, and it says just when he talked to the characters, he actually said their names. Are you next, Deadshot? Stuff like that, little lines like that. So he was a cool character. I hope he's back for the sequel.
Okay, yeah, I thought he was a good character. I didn't mind him. What about you, Dirty, on the leader of the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, he was pretty cool. I liked him off and on, not through the whole movie, just certain parts here and there. I ain't care too much for, but I mean, he was doable,
Okay, yeah, I thought he was good. I think he served his purpose. He's like a redneck type dude. He's got the redneck voice going on, the very southern voice. But he's pretty good. What about Amanda Wallace? What do you guys think about her, without spoiling it?
She gangster. That's all I can say.
She's gangster. And one thing, can you guys carry this conversation and say what else you can for non-spoiler? I got to do something real quick, and I'll be right back. Is that cool, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
Oh yeah.
talk about Amanda Wallace, guys, and
Waller.
whatever else you can do, non-spoiler, and I'll be right back. Somebody came to the door I didn't expect.
Yeah, Amanda Waller, I liked her a lot. I thought she was really actually the strongest out of the whole. No, besides the whole Suicide Squad, El Diablo, and them. I always liked Viola Davis as an actress, and when she got casted, I thought it was very smart for her to be casted as that. She's a badass. She was terrifying. Actually, I was kind of terrified of her. I wouldn't want to work for her at all. Even Rick Flag was known like I should have like heard the warnings about you. I know I shouldn't have trusted you, stuff like that. So I liked her, and I hope to see her in more DC films besides Suicide Squad, like maybe in Justice League or in other roles later in the future.
She was cool.
Yeah,
I like.
on that. She was pretty, I guess you could say scary in the movie. You know what I'm saying? She did some things that, like one scene she did, I was like, wow, like this chick is out of her mind. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool how she did it. You know what I'm saying? And like she was the toughest. You know what I'm saying? As the members of the Suicide Squad. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I liked about it in the movie. She just took charge. You know what I'm saying? She didn't care. It was like her way or no way.
Yep.
She was a good actress. I felt she played a role pretty good. I still like the one from Arrow better, just because they killed her to get the other one out there. That's what I think. Yeah. I didn't like how they got rid of the one on Arrow, but I like to see where they take her as far as more movies go.
Right. I thought the one on Arrow was weak, Amanda Waller. I didn't like that one. She was too weak. Like not weak, but she wasn't as terrifying as the one in the movie. Yeah. That was something there.
You got a question? We might as well take questions since Dave didn't come back from Thanos. Yeah, there's a credit scene at the end.
Yeah, like midway credit.
Yeah, just it's like after you see like the main credits, there's like a scene and then like the final credits. And then I'd rather see Harley Quinn next, as far as a movie goes from them.
Now, if what I would like to see out of everybody that was in the Suicide Squad, I would love to see a movie based on Joker and just Harley Quinn. I would like to see that backstory that they show. I would like to see it took it further into their own movie. I would also like to see Diablo. He really surprised me in the movie. I would love to see a movie with Diablo in it.
They really stretched his story out when they were explaining. I really liked his backstory. Like with the kids and everything and all that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Well, I know they probably wouldn't do a standalone movie with just him, but if they can throw him in, any one of the DC upcoming movies, you know what I'm saying, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But definitely that Harley Quinn and Joker backstory, I would love to see that pulled out as as a movie.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. So did pretty much covered non-spoiler.
Yeah, and we were answering the questions in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Just before we end the non-spoiler, it's a good movie, guys. It's the tip. If you're worried about the hate that you're seeing, it's the typical hate for DC movies. I like to look. If you think about video games, and when it comes to Microsoft and companies like Nintendo, and then you got Sony, which I love Sony, but it's one of those companies that can't do nothing wrong. Think of them as Marvel. think of DC as Nintendo and Microsoft. They're going to just get hate for whatever they do. It don't matter. They could do an amazing movie, and it's just going to get hate. It's just all it is till something changes. But that's the non-spoiler part. If you do not want to be spoiled, I suggest click off the podcast because we're going to go into spoilers now. Oh, and then too, before we go into non-spoilers, if you had to give a score of the movie, from a 1 to a 10, what would it be, Daniel?
An 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, okay. What about you, Dirty?
Yeah, I probably have to go with an 8 out of 10.
Okay, what about you, Frozen?
I gave it a 9 in my review.
And I'm going with a 9 too. But yeah, I think it deserves a 9. I thought it was really good. I like Batman. When going back, and two, I want you guys to know, this is after Batman vs. Superman. This is, they even give you, they even kind of tell you that in the movie, that this is events after Batman Superman. So just so you know that too. So this is to do with Batman Superman. And it's going to lead into Justice League. I do believe, Man of Steel too. The second Man of Steel is connected too, right?
Yeah, they just announced today that they might be working on a second Man of Steel.
So that it's all connected. The newest Superman movie with the Batman vs Superman, and then this.
Yeah, and then probably anything else they got planned, because they do have 2 DC movies that don't even have titles yet, that they haven't even announced when they're coming out. So, like later on in the year.
See, I heard they weren't going to do another Superman, and I guess maybe they got bad feedback about that.
No, they have an article. I just seen it.
All right. All right. So that's the non-spoiler review. Okay, going into spoilers. Well, too, did I talk about Amanda Wallace? I just want to add this too. With Amanda Wallace, with the non-spoiler, I thought she was good. I like the TV Amanda Wallace, though, in Arrow a little bit more. I thought she was better. But this Amanda Wallace wasn't bad. She was a good one, too. But I have to say the one on TV was a little bit better. But spoiler review time. So if you don't want to be spoiled, take off the podcast. All right. Let's start off with, I guess we'll start off with Joker and his whole purpose in this movie. Did you like Joker's storyline in this movie, Daniel? Like what they had him doing?
No, honestly, not really with what he was doing. Like certain scenes, since like him getting, like I understand him getting chased by Batman and stuff, and certain things like that. But the whole when Harley was dancing, that club or whatever, and then he's talking to Common. And it's just like basically showing that he just killed Common just because he got called Harley a bitch or whatever, or stuff like stuff like that, just to show that he's crazy. And certain scenes, not all scenes really made sense again since they cut a lot of the scenes out. And supposedly Joker and Batman are already supposed to have history, and yet he's like, we have company, but yet it didn't feel like they had history, or like it's Batman or something like that. Like nothing like that really. So, just certain things like that. I mean, I feel like just the way that his helicopter crashed, and I don't know if they were supposed to make like moviegoers feel as he dead, or he could have just jumped out of the plane with Harley if he wanted to, or the helicopter. I don't know why he just didn't. But again, just like plot holes and gaps, and the scenes that he was in, sure they were well acted and stuff, but just the story was loose around Joker within the film, within certain scenes. So I really didn't, I liked the Joker in the film again, but the way that they put him in certain parts, and even to end the movie like that, like we're going home, to end it like that, I didn't like that whole scene there where he just disappeared and then he officially like comes back out of nowhere.
Okay. Like I said, I think the whole editing thing, I don't think this movie is edited bad at all, in my opinion. I mean, we could go into this part, maybe they could be picky about this, but in general, the movie was not edited bad, I don't think. But we are told that they took a lot out of the Joker's, airtime in this movie, enough to actually make a full fucking film. So that's a lot of shit that was taken out. I would. Well, let's Frozen. You go first with the whole Joker thing. His whole purpose this movie. Did you like what they did with him?
I thought originally that he was just going to be used for flashbacks with Harley. I didn't really think that he was actually going to have an actual motive. I would have actually liked to see the Joker and Batman actually come face to face as opposed to him just driving in the car. But for the most part, I did enjoy the scenes with him in the him with Harley in the hospital when they were in Arkham Asylum. I really enjoyed those scenes. I think he was really meant to be there for just to bring more out of Harley. It really wasn't about him. It was just to bring out. It was all about Harley because like as Harley was being escorted out, she was on the phone texting the Joker. Like I think the more he was in the movie, it was just for Harley. It wasn't really he really wasn't supposed to be in this movie. Like when the movie was originally announced, people were saying, "Why is the Joker in it? He's not in the comic book." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because the Suicide Squad's recruited by Amanda Waller, and the Joker isn't recruited by him. And it would just been nice to see if he had a face to face with Batman, but I guess they're gonna save that for, or maybe that's probably that may be saved up for the Batman movie that they may do if he's in it.
Okay, okay. What about you, Dirty, on the whole Joker, his whole purpose in this movie, his storyline of what they had? And did you guys answer Thanos' question on if there was a secret little scene like at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your whole thoughts on the Joker, his purpose in the movie? You know what was going on with him?
I agree with Frozen. I think he was there more for just for Harley Quinn, because basically when to show her backstory, they had to show the Joker. So he was just in there, just because she was part of the squad. So in order to get her backstory, Joker have to be in her backstory because she was the doctor that was trying to understand him until she got manipulated and fell in love with him. So Joker had to be there. So that's why Joker was in the movie.
Okay. With me, I thought it was good how they did the Joker with what they did. I like how cause like you guys are saying, if there's Harley Quinn, there's the Joker. That's all there is to it. Um, I thought it went well with what they had going on with the movie because you had the Joker basically trying to get her out of the Suicide Squad. Now going back to the whole thing with Batman, and he's basically ruining their date night, which they said. No, when they're in the car and they're driving, they refer to like Batman like he's a nuisance to them, like not on date night, and they're shooting at him like they know who he is. That I got that from that, but I might be wrong on that. Might have looked at it a different way, but that's what I got out of it. I thought, I liked what they did with the Joker with the little stuff that they did do. I'm really looking forward to him in a whole film. I liked his purpose in the movie. I thought it was that was like the best thing they could do with him for this situation. And how Harley Quinn was like a big part of the Suicide Squad, so they had to put him in there. And I think they wanted us to get an introduction to the Joker. I just think, like I said earlier, I think with the Joker, he would have had more airtime with the movie, but I think they were really scared to have a whole other situation of Batman vs Superman, this long ass movie. It might have been a long ass movie from the get go, and then they might have cut that bit short because they didn't want no bad backlash. They were worried about the same situation with Batman vs Superman. But the Joker's good. Just in general, he's a modern day Joker. I thought the guy Jared Leto has the laugh down to and I like the laugh better than a lot of others of the Joker. See, this is my problem, and a lot of people aren't going to like what I have to say. Heath Ledger, to me, I didn't think he was a bad Joker. I like Jack Nicholson. That's my favorite Joker of all time. I even like the one in the 60s. But Heath Ledger, to me, I don't think he would have been as well received if he didn't die, if that makes sense. You ever see like bands like Sublime? I was around for Sublime, and when they were alive, nobody gave a fuck about them. The minute that dude dies, he blows up. Like, that's the case with a lot of people that pass away that are this was their last role, or this was their this band, you didn't hear shit about them until the lead singer dies, and then they're blown up all over the place. Heath Ledger, I'm not taking nothing away from the guy, but would he been that well known as the Joker if he didn't pass away? Would that pretty much, and that was technically that wasn't his last movie, but that was his last big role. And I just think he got more blown up than what it was. Because, like I said, I like the Jack Nicholson Joker, but you tell anybody the Joker, they're like, oh, Heath Ledger, Heath Ledger, Heath Ledger. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of these motherfuckers that are talking about Heath Ledger's Joker didn't even see the old Batman. Didn't even see the one, with Michael Keaton, probably. Or the old one from the 60s. They're just going by what they know because it's the new generation. But I think the new Joker's good, and I actually like them. I can't sit here and be fair and say I like them totally better as Heath Ledger because I didn't see his whole role in a movie. But from what I got from him, I think he's going to be a better Joker to me. But moving on from the Joker thing, let's go into Batman. What little bit they had with Batman. Did you guys like what they did with Batman? Meaning what they used him for this movie, Daniel?
Yeah, I loved it a lot. I'm glad how it's in the first it feels weird even though it's in the first 5 minutes of the film basically, or 6 minutes into the film. When he came out, I didn't expect that. I knew Batman was in the film, I knew he was going to be with Joker and all that, but I did not know that he was going to have a Deadshot encounter, so that was a surprise to me. And when I saw that, I loved it because when he said Deadshot, it got me excited. Actually, I'd love to see Deadshot versus Batman in the film more than Joker on the side in the Batman film. But I'd love to see Deadshot versus the Joker, or Deadshot versus Batman. I'd love to see that more than the Joker. But I enjoyed that. I thought it was cool. I mean, his role, little role, bringing Deadshot in. It would have been cool if we saw him bring in other criminals too, go down the line and bring in some other people. I thought the Harley stuff was cool. Again, him taking in Harley in the Batmobile and stuff like that. I felt like the chase would have been maybe they cut the chase down a little bit. I felt like it probably would have been a little longer of a chase between Joker and Batman. But yeah, they used him very well. It's still the same costume from Batman v Superman, so it was cool. I liked the little his little kiss he gave Harley. Not really he's giving him giving her CPR or the breathing stuff, but still she's laughing and he's holding her down and stuff. So I'm happy for that. Again, I was very surprised by the Deadshot stuff, so that made me very happy.
Well, with Joker, it shows how going back to Joker with the Harley Quinn thing and the whole Batmobile, or no, his car that goes in the water. It shows how Joker loves Harley Quinn, but he don't give a fuck about her too at the same time. Because he just left her there to die. She's in the car passed out. He didn't save her. Batman's saving her. But he loves her still to go find her. But he's in it for himself. He don't give a shit. He still, even though how much he loves Harley Quinn, he will leave her on the drop of a dime to save his own life. He don't care.
Yeah.
But going to Batman, Frozen, did you like what they did with Batman and his little purpose in this movie?
Yeah, I thought he was. I'm glad that he wasn't in there too much, because I thought he was going to be in there for a lot. I thought he was going to be in there a couple times because the way they seen it. But I think he did a good job. He really played out Deadshot, Deadshot getting captured and all that kind of stuff. But he did a good job with how Harley got captured as well. That he was there to capture them, and they definitely played a big role, especially at the end credit scene about what happened with Amanda Waller and Bruce Wayne and stuff like that.
Okay. What about you, Dirty, on the whole thing to do with Batman and his purpose in this movie? Did you like what they did with him?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed what they did with Batman, especially with the whole thing with Deadshot and his daughter. My whole thing again, going back to the origins of Bruce Wayne when he was younger with his parents. Why the hell everybody take back alleys? Nobody catches a cab in Gotham. They just go through back alleys and get killed. But this was the same way him and his daughter talking. You know, he loves his daughter. She's smart. He wants the best for her, and Batman just come out and told him, "Hey, you got to come with me." And you know, they had a little scuffle. I think a shot went off or something like that, and she got in the way and told her, like, "Daddy, you can't do this. No more killing." You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. I like that. And even when he went underwater to get the Joker and Harley. He didn't see Joker, but Harley surprised him. He punched in the face, and I died laughing on that. Like, I did not see that coming, but that was hilarious when he knocked the hell out of him.
All right. With me with Batman, um, I liked what they did with Batman. I thought it was just enough. I don't think they needed Batman anymore because this movie to me wasn't about Batman. This was about the Suicide Squad, you know, and what they're facing, and they weren't facing Batman in this one. But I like that they put Batman in here to give you. I think the whole purpose of them putting Batman in here was basically to blow Ben Affleck up a little bit more for his upcoming shit with Batman, to give you another taste of Batman other than Batman vs Superman. People want to see other stuff with him, but I understand with Gotham there's Batman, but this is the Suicide Squad. We want to see their story, but I think they did just enough Batman to not overdo anything. It was just enough, and I liked how they did do the whole thing with Deadshot getting caught by Batman. Basically his daughter was standing in front of Batman, so you don't shoot Batman. Well, that'd be a whole other thing. We'll talk about Deadshot in a second. But yeah, Batman, I thought it was pretty good what they did with them, with the whole Harley Quinn scene, and it was just enough. And I knew from the get-go that he wasn't going to be much in this movie. They said that. They said I think they said, I seen in one article, it said like 20 minutes or less or something, and it wasn't even near that, So it was just enough Batman. I thought they did a good job with that and what they had going on with him. Now, going to Deadshot. With the whole let's talk about all these origins of these characters. Start out with Deadshot. I think they could have done a little bit better with Deadshot's origins, don't you, Frozen?
Yeah, I like the way they portrayed him in Arrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Like, he went to prison and all that, and then she showed up, and then like he was in the military, and like they didn't really explain that because he was in the military. I don't know. I like the one in Arrow. I think it's just a TV show. He's more flushed out in there. But I feel like they put a lot of focus on his daughter. They didn't really need to do all that focus just on his daughter. Like they showed the focus on, and they showed him doing like assassinations and stuff. I felt like they took a little too much time doing all that. Like just telling him, oh, he's on the phone, he's on the rooftop blowing people up, and I know that's what he does, but they took a lot of time doing that, and that scene didn't need to be that long, in my opinion.
Now, Deadshot in the TV show, if I remember correctly, he's missing his eye, right?
Well, yeah, because shot him in the eye with an arrow.
Now, this one, he's not missing his eye. He has like this thing that he puts on and enhances his vision.
Yeah, I'm also glad that he didn't wear the white mask because I hated that white mask. It looked absolutely ugly. Yeah, I did not want him to see him wear that white mask the whole movie. But yeah.
Why did they make it white? I thought it was another color.
Yeah, it was actually like kind of like a ski mask, but I don't know what he did. It looks weird on Will Smith. I don't know what they were trying to do with that mask.
Because what I got with Deadshot, he's from the military. They didn't really show that. They just showed him basically taking like doing one of his actually going and doing one of his missions, like hitting somebody, doing a hit. And it didn't really show you his backstory really too much. They gave you an idea of what's going on with his kid and everything, and they do that in Arrow, which I got to stop comparing this to Arrow. That's my problem, because that's the only time I've ever seen Suicide Squad, which I heard from Brimstone, my buddy Brimstone Gaming, shout out to you. He said Suicide Squad was not first only on Arrow, it was on Smallville. I don't know if a lot of you guys watch Smallville. I've watched part of it, but I heard Suicide Squad was actually on that first. That's what he said. So that's my problem. I'm comparing Suicide Squad from Arrow to the movie thing. But I did like Will Smith as Deadshot, though. I think he did a good job for what they
I'm
had.
glad he didn't overpower the movie completely because you know how Will Smith he wants to be the main star.
Yeah,
He
he
would,
usually wants to be because he's a high-paid actor. He's one of the top-paid actors out there in the world.
at least he gave Margot Robbie a little bit of shine in there so that he's not the only one. Like if you look at like the posters, he's in the center, and then they're gonna think it's just about him, you know.
You watch the movie, he is the face. He's a big part of this movie. Him and Harley Quinn, and I guess who else would you say that
Amanda Waller and Enchantress.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the leader of the Suicide Squad, he's in it too a lot. But Will Smith definitely gets the a lot of airtime. But going back to what we're talking about, Daniel, what's your thoughts on that?
With the flashbacks for him, or
Well, the whole thing with Headshot. Did you like his origins or?
I mean the with his origins, I like the whole kid stuff, and it was kind of quick when he was walking, and it was like snowing and everything, and the whole before Batman showed up. But the whole thing of when he was on the rooftop and he was like telling the guy to double pay me and stuff, fine, that was like it tells you he obviously is a hitman, he does money for money and all. But I thought it was kind of cheesy the way that when he shot the guy and he had like 10 seconds and like it slowed down in time almost, like where everything slowed down. It didn't make sense. And I've seen this film 2 times. And when the guy gets shot, there's literally a person behind the guy that got shot. Like, there's no way the bullet could have got the guy in the back of the head if there's somebody behind the guy, realistically. But I thought it was just a cheesy way to show that you could tell it's a rated R, like he could be rated R so much that blood would splatter. And there's multiple things to get, like when Slipknot gets blown up, blood will splatter everywhere. Like you could tell there was an R-rated feeling to it. But I just felt like, again, the whole kid stuff was fine. I mean, well, I think the reason why I like Deadshot from Arrow is because he wasn't as nice as the way Will Smith is in the film. Like, Deadshot in Arrow was more gritty and more like shooting people and let's get the job done and stuff, and he wasn't always like, oh, let me check out the situation. He just killed whoever was in front of him, sort of thing. So and he brought his kid up, like in Arrow, Deadshot always never brought his kid up all the time. Only very seldom he would bring his kid up.
Yeah. Well,
Will
the
Smith
thing too, to be fair, I will say this, like, I was talking to Armored the other night about the whole Joker because he had just seen the Suicide Squad before I did. And he was talking how, well, just in general, he compares a lot to the comic books with the movies. Now we're going with Arrow, so it's like the same thing. So I shouldn't even be doing that. You gotta, for what the movie is, you gotta give it because that's their interpretation of the whole thing. Like, this is the Deadshot now we got in the movies. That's to be fair. With the TV show, I mean, they just did a really good job with that Deadshot. But the movie one, for the amount of time they had to tell him and stuff like that, I would say he was good. Do you think so, Daniel? Or
yeah, he was, and well, he was basically, when you think of like Will Smith, he played Will Smith basically being funny and charming. So yeah, I thought he wasn't amazing, but he was a good leading force for the film.
You definitely get that Will Smith feel in this movie, though. Like, Will Smith always has the Will Smith. Like, you get that with everything he plays. He comes out with his, like, just how he's funny in certain things, but it's him. You can see that's what you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he gives you that. It's Will Smith. You can tell, like, from a lot of his other movies. But what about you, Dirty, on the whole thing with Deadshot? Did you like? Now you're coming from somebody that didn't see Arrow, and do you know a lot about Deadshot other than this movie?
No, I don't know too much about Deadshot's origin. But I mean, for the movie, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was showing that the only person he cared about in the world besides himself was his daughter. So that I like that. You know what I'm saying? So to agree with Daniel, yeah, he did shoot the guy I guess it was one of those magical bullets. You know what I'm saying? It just this dude got hit and somebody was like right behind him. But other than that, yeah, he was cool in the movie.
Well, yeah, he bounced the bullet off of something and it hit him right in the back of the head or something.
Yeah, like ricocheted or something like that.
Yeah. What about you, Frozen? Did you give your thoughts on Deadshot?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay, so Deadshot, really good character. I'd have to say, if you guys had to say, who do you think got the most airtime in the movie? I would go with Deadshot. What about you guys?
Mm.
I'd go with Harley.
No, Harley? Okay. What about you, Daniel?
Deadshot.
What about you, Dirty? Who do you think got the most, who you seen most on screen? Like, meaning,
It might be Harley. I think she got a little bit more than Deadshot. I mean, they both had a lot, but I think she just got a tad bit more just because of, the Joker.
okay. All right, going to let's talk about the villain of the movie. Let's just get into her a little bit. Did you like the villain that they chose for the movie? Did you like the villain, in general? Like, was it a good choice? Did you like her role in the movie? Daniel.
No, I hated the villain in this film. As the main enchantress, but transformed into the goddess look and all that. I wasn't a big fan of it because she looks like she's lip syncing the whole time. Like literally, the way the voice doesn't match the body really at all. The way that it's done in her mouth, she did that really put me off a lot. She's always it's just it feels so weird because it's at the basic sort of I'm gonna destroy the world. Here I go. I'm creating this force field, whatever, like Fantastic Four, collecting all the trash and metal. And it's just the same old destruction. At the end of the day, how many people died in that city and no one cares how many people died? Like, there's no say who died. Thousands of people died and nobody says anything about it or no one cares. Mm-hmm. It's just destruction. And I mean, it was. I'm not the biggest Cara Delevingne or the actress who played. I'm not the biggest fan of her. I mean, she was fine as Enchantress. I liked the look of the dirty Enchantress, but the whole get up and her brother was okay. I mean, but all he did was just shoot stuff out of his arm, and I like the CGI to him. I thought it kind of gives you an idea of what Darkseid or Steppenwolf could look like in the future, CGI wise. So, but I just thought the villain was kind of that weak spot, even in the film with the plot holes. She was just she was strong, but all she did was stand there and have her minions go after them. Like, the minions were better than the main villain.
Yeah, so. Okay. What about you, Frozen?
I really enjoyed, not really enjoyed, but I do hear less without it, but they really just had her in the film just to kind of bring everyone together. Like Harley, as you could say, Harley, they disabled her, that kill thing that she had in her, and she still came back to help them all. I felt that it was all there. She was just there to set up the other characters to be more like a team. You know what I mean? She was just there as to be there, because I know the original villain was supposed to be the Tattoo Man, but they didn't do that. I know it was supposed to be the villain. That was supposed to be the villain. Was supposed to be Tattoo Man. And then they ended up changing it. But it's the first film, so I guess you can usually get away with a mediocre villain in the first movie. So.
Okay, what about you, Dirty? Did you like the Enchantress, like her whole thing to do with the movie, her role, and her as being basically the main villain in the movie? Did you like their choice of that, or?
I did not like the villain at all in the movie. I mean, when she first appeared, it was cool. I'm like, okay, because if she wasn't the villain, whoever was going to be the villain, they could have just sent the enchantment lady in there, and she just would have just done with everybody and just called it a night. But the way to me, it was like I got the perception of more of like when they went to stop her and her brother. I got more of the Mummy and Ghostbusters out of it near the end. I'm like, this is just something they just threw together. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, was time running out or the budget was getting low. But I'm like, I just didn't like that setup, that whole setup where she went to go get her brother, little statue and put it into another dude, and now he's walking around like the Mummy. And I was like, this is the Mummy, and then the whole laser shooting up in the sky with trash floating around and shit. I was like, yeah, this is like fucking Ghostbusters. You know what I'm saying? The heavens opening up with a beam going through. I'm like, come on. Nah, I'm like, they could have done better than that. But no, I did not like the ending at all. I did not like how the villain was. I think she should have just stayed as her, like Daniel said, her dirty self. You know what I'm saying? Like, she turned clean and she was just moving all around like a belly dancer and shit. Like, I didn't. It was that whole ending was. I didn't care too much for it. They could have reshot that.
All right. My whole thing with the Enchantress, I liked her. I thought they could have done a better job. I ain't gonna sit here and lie about that. But from what I understand, she's like really super. Like my brother, he's real good with the whole backstory of comics and all that because he had a lot of the. He was all into comics growing up. Had a lot of the first issues of comics from my cousin stole them all and sold them. But he's always been in the comics, and he said the Enchantress is very powerful. Like she was super powerful. He said El Diablo is too. Like he didn't like how they were like portrayed in the movie either. I didn't have a problem with her. With her, I liked her character. I didn't know about her character till the movie, until I heard of her through my brother after we saw the movie. I thought they could have got a better villain or done better with her. You know, if I had to pick of the movie, yeah, I would pick. I would. They could have done a better villain. The ending could have been better. You know, if I have to sit here and pick. But yeah, I wish she would have just been a part of the Suicide Squad instead of their enemy, you know, or something like that. But I I didn't mind her, but I didn't. I could take. I guess I could say I could take her or leave her. Okay, that's my thoughts on it. Um, Next one I want to talk about. I guess we'll go, which we all. I guess we kind of covered with a non-spoiler, but like Killer Croc and Boomerang. Okay, both them characters. I guess a lot of us in here, all of us in here, except I like Killer Croc. I think I forgot if 30 you liked Killer Croc, right?
Yeah, he was okay. You know what I'm saying? If I had to choose, I would take both of them out. But
Okay, so you would say he was in. You would take him out of the movie if you could.
yeah, because he really did. Him and Boomerang really didn't do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like Diablo. He didn't really do too much, but like at the end or going towards the end when they was actually trying to get to the enchantment lady, he showed what he can do when Will Smith got it out of. And I'm like, okay, now we starting to see this dude. And then it went further into his backstory of what happened with him and his family. And then when they got there, he was like, he told him, he was like, if I go out of control, I can't handle it. So that's what he did. And to see that, I'm like, oh, damn, this dude is stronger than I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the enchantment lady wasn't the villain, they could have sent her and Diablo in there, and the whole thing would have been over in a couple hours.
And wiped whoever the fuck out.
Right. They could have sent them two, and they could have been Suicide Squad and called it a day. But like, I don't know why they put him in. I mean, he did do a couple of things when those little minions was coming. You know what I'm saying? He was ripping them apart and stuff like that. But it really didn't say anything like how he actually turned into the Croc in his backstory.
Yeah.
That's to know, like, how did he turn? How did he become the Croc?
They have a deleted scene where actually he had a backstory, but they cut it out, where they showed him his physical appearance, and people were like downing him, and he actually with Batman actually crossed paths with him in the deleted scene, and they actually had a confrontation and stuff like that, but they deleted it from the movie.
Oh,
But
okay.
he was actually he actually met up with Batman in the movie.
Well, I hope they actually
That'll be in the uncut edition. That'll definitely be in there.
yeah,
They're cut
they
up.
do like the Dawn of Justice and add those deleted scenes to the movie when they come out on Blu-ray. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but going back to the whole villain and with the Enchantress and El Diablo, yeah, they could take out a lot of people, but it depends on who they're up against. They could be up against somebody, like I guess what's his name, Darkseid. He's pretty powerful too, right?
Yeah,
So it just depends on who they're up against. But a majority of the characters, they could probably fuck them up, you know. But going back to the whole thing with Boomerang and Killer Croc, I didn't mind Killer Croc. I thought they could have, done more with Killer Croc. Boomerang, I just didn't like him. It wasn't like they, it wasn't like he wasn't used or anything like Killer Croc, how that he didn't get too much airtime. They were giving Boomerang airtime, but it's just I didn't care for him. I thought he was a
I didn't
shitty
care for him
character.
either.
Huh?
I didn't care for him either.
Yeah, like they used that. That's the funny thing. Here they are using Boomerang where they should have been using Killer Croc or fucking El Diablo more, But they give this asshole, more time. I was like, why'd they do that?
They should have gave Katana his time. Katana would have been definitely. I would have preferred her getting all the time.
Yeah. So I mean that and Jay, what's his name? Jai Courtney. He's like he's kind of getting up there. He's like he's an actor. It's well known. That's probably why they were using him, but still, I just, they could have done more with Killer Croc. They could have done more with, I liked El Diablo a lot. They just could have done more with him. I think we're going to see more with him on the next Suicide Squad.
He was useless until like the end of the movie, like the beginning and then the ending. That's where he did his role.
Yeah, but they can't have everybody doing something. That's the one thing about the Suicide Squad. It's a big team of characters, of villains. And they can't use them all throughout the movie. They can, but not like how we want them to be used, And they mainly, like I said, they focused on Deadshot and Harley Quinn the whole movie. Like those were the main focus, Which I hopefully next movie that's not the case. I hope they focus on El Diablo and Killer Croc if they're going to use him again. Do other stuff with them. Killer Croc could have been an awesome character. They could have done a lot. I liked him for what it was, but they could have done a lot with him. But I do agree with Daniel. I see what he's saying where Killer Croc was kind of like the Hulk in this movie. I do see what he was saying on that. What's your thoughts on this, Daniel, with the whole thing with Boomerang and Killer Croc?
Well, I loved Captain Boomerang in this film. That may be just because Jai Courtney himself, he's always been an actor that I've enjoyed, and he always gets crapped on. Mind you, he's not the best actor in the world, not at all, but I like seeing him in films. So having him in this film, I liked his look, and they could have made him more badass. His name's Captain Boomerang, but now in today's world, somebody could write him a bigger role, as in something more badass and having blades and boomerang blades and stuff. Like they could have made him more awesome in this film, just what they did. Because I really think he's an interesting. He's not really. He throws boomerangs, but they could make him interesting for people to see. Which I like. I laughed a lot at his jokes. A lot with the 2 times I saw it. Everyone in the theater laughed at the jokes where I laughed. So I enjoyed his side, and I do see how. But he is very underused in the film, and he is. I could see maybe. Again, I would trade him in a way for Katana to have more screen time, or even Katana and Killer Boomerang could Killer Croc out for Katana more. I would have that too, but again, I like Boomerang. He made me laugh a lot. Killer Croc, didn't really make me laugh until the second time around with his whole jokes and stuff. But and not I like the actor who plays Killer Croc. It's not like he's a horrible actor. He didn't do a horrible job. The makeup, like pros to the makeup team and all, they did awesome with that. But still, they were all underused. Them and Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Katana. They were all the underused type that even El Diablo. All he did was stand around, and they were getting bullets were getting shot at him, and yet he didn't get shot whatsoever. I don't know how he did not get shot because you could literally see the bullets hitting the back when he's standing. So I thought that was kind of weird too, how he never got shot whatsoever. It's kind of like an unrealistic part, even though it's a film. But they were really the underused part, and I could see how maybe in the sequel they'll have, maybe give Boomerang something more bigger to do and more of his backstory, and since he got caught by the Flash, and more history there in the future. But out of all, Katana, I still should have got bigger screen time out of Boomerang and Croc.
Okay. Yeah, Katana, that was another one that really they didn't use much at all. I like her whole thing with the soul that's in her sword. I thought that was cool. I guess, like Dirty said, it was her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was like the mobster had killed her husband with that sword, so that sword contained her husband's soul, and she took it and killed the rest of the mafia, but she also kept it because it contains the soul of the people she killed. And that's how
I like that. But she didn't really say much either, like in the movie, like, she was there, to be there. Like, there was characters to be there just to be there. If they could have, focused on other characters, but they know Harley Quinn and Deadshot, which is Will Smith, they're going to give them they're going to give him a lot of airtime. The only one I was disappointed that I wanted to have more airtime was the Joker. I was looking to see him more in the movie than what he was. That was my big thing with him. Who else did Amanda Wallace? I think her whole role in the movie and everything she played, she was pretty good being the leader of the Suicide Squad. She's pretty much a ruthless fucking person. She works for, the division she works for, and she's gonna get done whatever she has to get done. She's out for herself to get her shit done. She'll kill anybody. She don't care. She don't give a shit. Now, going to Slipknot before we forget. Slipknot was killed off immediately right in the beginning of the movie. He was literally, he was used as an example to the rest of the Suicide Squad that, Amanda Wallace and the lead dude of the Suicide Squad, they have on their phones that anytime they press a button with their picture on it, on an app, and their heads explode. And Slipknot thought he was just going to see, he's like, fuck this shit. And he's leaving, and bam, that's the end of his ass. And that was the end of Slipknot. But you said Frozen. You said Slipknot dies off in the comics.
He dies off quick in the comics.
Oh, okay. Because I know some people, they didn't even see the purpose of him in the movie. But the purpose was to show that's what happens if you don't fucking listen. Your head explodes. And I hate to keep going back to Arrow, but Arrow, they put bombs in their, in their necks or head or whatever in the show too if they escape. But in the movie, Joker, his purpose too, going back to Joker, he wants to get Harley Quinn loose, and he gets a hold of the scientist to defuse the bomb in Harley's. That's what I found weird. So he gets the bomb defused in Harley Quinn's head. Okay, gets her loose. Jumps on the helicopter with him. She rolls off on the roof. Helicopter crashes, he's dead, and she decides to go back with them and just be a prisoner again?
Well, Dave, in a deleted scene, he's not dead. I'm reading here that...
It's not, no, but the movie they presented, he's dead. Enough with these deleted scenes. The movie we saw, he was dead. That's one thing that kills me with these deleted scenes. What's the movie? What was the... You know what I'm saying? Like... That's what I'm saying. There's deleted scenes in movies, but they go by if you're going by the story, is that going to be used in the story? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but even if I'm just saying, why would she go back to them? At that time, she knew he was gone. She thought in his head he was gone. Why would she go back to them to be a prisoner again?
I think why she did it is because a part in the movie they was talking about their family, and it was like, they have to look out for each other, even though they on this suicide mission. They still have to look out for each other. And when Joker came in that helicopter and was shooting up the rooftop, he told her, he was like, come on, and she knew that the device in her neck was disabled. And Deadshot looked at it and like, don't do it, because he was like, we got a mission to do. You know what I'm saying? It's us. But she took it as being selfish. Is like, I want to be with. She want to be with her pudding,
Yeah.
and she couldn't. So when she thought that he died, she didn't have anyone else, because if she don't have the Joker, she has no one. So only the people she had left that understood her, that the things that they went through, and everybody, and she came to realize that she's just a bad, crazy person, and the rest of them are basically like her in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's her family now, so that's who she had to go back to, was them. Joker, she thought Joker was gone, so it's like, okay, I don't have him anymore. Who do I have now? I have the rest of the squad, so let me go back to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. Why she went back, because she had no one else after she thought Joker had died.
All right. Well, I see what you're saying, and I'm looking at my reasons too. But I can see what you're saying. That's understandable. I just found it. I was watching. I was like, huh. But now they explain it. That makes sense. Um, is there any characters that we're missing that we want to talk about?
Um,
You had the Enchantress's brother. He was the villain too. You know.
You had a brother and a brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had that going on. So there technically is two villains in the movie. It's her brother. Yeah, the whole thing with the Enchantress, her heart is controlled. Like Amanda Waller has her heart, and that's what controls the Enchantress. But what I didn't understand, she had her heart, but then she kind of was shielded by her brother. Did you guys get that?
yeah, he like gave her power to live.
Yeah, so like that, so it didn't matter that she had the heart, like she could still go under her brother's wing or whatever. So that was a little, I get thrown off a little bit by that. The ending we discussed, that wasn't the best ending. Now, what about the end credits? You sit there and wait for the scenes, and they had the whole thing with, Bruce Wayne talking to Amanda Waller about like that's where he got the information for certain members of the Suicide or for the Justice League. And one thing, the whole meaning to this movie, the whole premises of this movie, if you're wondering what it is, it's basically they have to get the most ruthless people. Like the whole thing to do with this movie is Superman dies, all right? So they looked at Superman, how he came to Earth and how he basically, was good, and he could destroy the Earth if he wanted to at any time. And there, Amanda Waller's whole thing about it, she's like, well, what if we have one of these metahumans like Superman come to Earth and just say fuck it and don't have the same fucking rules as Superman, same standards, and just decide to just fucking kill us all. They wanted a team of the worst to protect them, so they were basically assembling Superman, the good Superman of their own. Like a bad team, but to help them against another, somebody could be a bad metahuman. So that's the whole meaning of the Suicide Squad, of why they are what they are.
Yeah.
So that this, for anybody is still watching that wanted to know what was going on with that. But then the end credits, like I said, they got the information from, Bruce Wayne got it from Amanda Waller, Aquaman, and the rest of the Justice League. Now, Flash did make an appearance in this. What do you guys think about Flash's short appearance?
He did good.
You liked it? I'm trying to buy. I'm trying to see. I hate going to the CW shows, but I'm so used to that Flash now. I don't know if I'm going to get used to this Flash. What
They
do you
said
guys?
Zack Snyder directed that scene.
Hmm.
Yeah, he directed that scene for the Flash.
Do you like this new Flash of what we saw in this movie? Like another part of him? Like
The he looks better.
you like the costume? I'm having a hard time with that costume. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I enjoy the costume. I love the Flash TV show and all, but just from the Justice League trailer and all, I have hope in Ezra Miller as the new Barry Allen. Again,
Okay.
it's fine. I like the costume. It's different because it has to be different. It just can't be the same thing. It has to be a different interpretation. But with the cameo, even though it, no pun intended, it was pretty quick within the movie, as you really had no time to react when he came on. All he said was "No honor among thieves" or something like that, and then that was it. Like it was no like, "Oh my God, it's the Flash," because it's too quick to take in. But I love his costume, and I mean, it's very like choppy. I guess that's kind of the weird thing about it, but it's still fine. I'm very happy, and I think Ezra Miller will top Grant Gustin, even though we'll have two Flashes at the same time. I like Grant Gustin, but this Ezra Miller looks like he's going to, show everybody that they're wrong and that Grant Gustin's the only one that can be the Flash.
Now, one thing I want to say, I know it's a little off topic. When we go back to Batman vs Superman, was that a different Flash in that
No.
one to this guy?
No, they cleaned him up. He doesn't have the long hair anymore. He doesn't have like the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they cleaned him up. He looks a lot more cleaned up.
He looked like he was like Hispanic, like to me.
He looked homeless. That's what he looked like to me.
I'm not making it like don't take it the wrong way. I just thought he was Spanish or something. Then I see this new guy, a white guy. I'm like, what the hell happened? But okay, so it is the same Flash guy playing the Flash. Okay, from Batman, Superman to here to the Justice League. All right. What about the little cameo of Flash, Dirty? What do you think of it?
It was okay. I was kind of surprised that they showed that. I still have to get used to the way his suit looks with the armor attached.
Okay,
to it.
so I'm not the only one with the suit problem. It's not just me.
Yeah, because it looks like, I know it's like kind of, it looks like, the armor that's on it, has been worn down and scuffed up. He just looked like the Tin Man or something like that. I'm just used to seeing the Flash just in his regular costume with no armor added to it, so I have to get used to it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's not that I think he has a bad costume. Like, it's just, I guess it is that he has a bad, I can't get with the costume yet. I gotta see him in the movie, like, doing more to him in a movie than just cameos and stuff. I want to see him actually in the Justice League or his own movie, and then I can fully decide. But right now, I'm just having a little issues with his suit, and I totally understand that they got to do something different. But I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I'm used to the red suit and everything with the Flash. I mean, they can make it look a little bit different with that, but that's just me on that. Anything else you guys got to do with Suicide Squad?
Do you want to hear the deleted scene or anything like that, like the one I was telling you about?
I mean, we can talk about the deleted scenes, but like, it's really just to do with the movie. That'd be like the whole thing when that comes out, because nobody's seen the deleted scenes,
Yeah,
I
don't want to spoil it, but they like some of the scenes between Harley and Joker, like they got into like a fight, and they said, and apparently like Harley pulls a gun out on him, and then he takes the gun and he smacks her and he beats her up like pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they didn't show that, because of the whole that feminist movement thing that's going on out there, and they don't want to be showing all that kind of stuff.
Hey, we don't care about the feminist movement. We just want to watch the movie.
This
Yeah,
stuff.
this whole, I mean, the thing going, and I hate to go off topic, but going with Ghostbusters, I didn't see it yet, but the movie has been, pretty much said that it's a shit movie. They always got to go to some other angle of why it's a shit movie or why people are saying that because it's all female cast, blah 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 blah. No, the movie fucking sucked supposedly, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean, just because they're all women, I haven't seen the movie, and I doubt it that I will watch the movie. And it's not because there's women in it at all. It's just like you said, it's a shitty movie, just like Superman Returns. It's Superman, but it's a shitty movie, and I would never watch it again. Superman 4. It's Superman, but it's a shitty movie, and I'll never watch it again. It's just that.
They always got to come up with something why a movie's a bad movie. When I looked at that fucking trailer, I could tell you it was a bad movie. Both those trailers screamed out horrible movie. Like, do not bother, Now, going back to be fair, I haven't seen the movie, but like you got people, not only all these critics that bash how they're bashing the DC movie. You got actual people that I watch that I'm seeing that I go to for reviews saying it was shit. I didn't see nobody say it was a good movie. If they did say anything close to it being a good movie, they're like, it's a movie I'd see on video. It's not terrible. I would see it on video. That's the only good thing I heard said about it.
Or if you never were into Ghostbusters. And
Yeah.
you've seen it, I'm not a Ghostbusters fan. I don't plan on seeing it, but if I probably seen it, I probably wouldn't make a big deal about it. But maybe somebody like a huge fan of Ghostbusters would definitely have an issue.
Well, you just ain't gonna live up to Ghostbusters, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. That was just classic, the '80s. It's not gonna happen. You're not. You can. That's the problem. It's not that it was a female cast. It's just they're just not on that level. And you can look at the trailer and just look at the trailer speaks for itself. And I hate to judge a movie on the trailer, but the trailers always show a lot of the movie. And what I'm seeing in that trailer, I'm not seeing anything I'm liking. Just saying. But I'll see it when it comes on video or I see it on the computer somewhere or whatever. I'll check it out because I am a Ghostbusters fan. I grew up with Ghostbusters, but I just couldn't believe what they did with Ghostbusters. Then they take Chris Hemsworth, turned him into the secretary lady that, it was just awful. That's all I have to say. I forgot her name in Ghostbusters, but they used him as her. I was like, I don't know. That's a whole other topic. That's our Suicide Squad podcast. I think we covered everything. The movie is good, guys. If you haven't seen the movie, like I said in the non-spoiler part, go see it. Don't listen to what's going on. It's not just me being a DC fanboy. I like DC, but I'll tell you if a movie's shit. The original Superman movie, I'm talking about when they started Superman back up, not the one with Christopher Reeve. I'm talking the first Superman that came out with Kevin Spacey. That is a shit film. Don't even bother. That's shit of DC.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
Green Lantern.
Not the newest one, not the old one. The newest one.
Green Lantern. Green Lantern was a bad movie too.
Green Lantern was bad.
I didn't like Green Lantern.
I'm in between with the Green Lantern. It seemed like it was going to be good, but then it dropped, and then it kind of picked back up like, okay, this could be it. Then it dropped again.
Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2.
Well, no, I'm trying to talk about DC movies that are shit, so I don't look like I'm just some Marvel fucking hater.
Yeah, but some of these Marvel guys claim that every Marvel movie is perfect, and they're not.
No, they're not. Marvel, when you look at Marvel, like the Iron Man, the first one was great. The last two were fucking god awful. They're horrible.
People were saying that X-Men 3 was better. This movie, Fantastic Four, was better. I'm like, people don't understand.
Fantastic Four, I liked the first two. That newest one, I saw part of it. It was awful.
This X-Men Apocalypse that just came out, garbage.
No, I didn't see that.
I actually liked the X-Men Apocalypse. I thought it was pretty decent.
You know what I didn't like about it? I didn't like about Apocalypse the way they portrayed him. This dude was like weak, and he was like the first. You mean to tell me he's the first mutant? And I think when he finally found out who Professor
Professor X was and what powers he had. Oh, I've been waiting for you for centuries. Like, you seem to tell me the professor is the only mutant that ever had those type of powers? Like, I found that kind of odd that the first mutant for centuries and centuries, and Professor X is the only one that was introduced with these powers to read minds and telekinesis. I'm like, really? Like, okay.
But let's end it here, guys. I don't want to go into all their thing. Look forward to my trailer podcast coming up about all the latest trailers that come out. Comic books, movies, TV shows other than comic books. We're going to do all of it. Comic books, all of it. I want to talk about, might do a separate one. Might do one for shows and movies and then comic book trailers. Or I might just do just one podcast. Just talk about trailers in general that have come out because there's so many lately. But I appreciate Daniel Rodriguez, my co-host, as always. Thank you for doing another podcast of this Suicide Squad discussion, review, podcast. Thank you, buddy.
Yep, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Frozen Magma, for joining as always.
No problem. When Wonder Woman comes out, you know that movie's going to get hated on too, just because.
Wonder Woman's going to be fucking awesome.
It's going to be good, but you know everybody's going to hate on it just because.
That looks better than Justice League. And Old Dirty 33, thank you for joining as always.
No problem, Dave. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, buddy. Till next time. Later, guys.